some of the industries or super niches you're in, like that sort of stuff you can't find from the generic SEO keyword tools. So
No.
how did you come up with that particular thing?
So let's say the roofing, for example. You create a roofing site and you just go, oh yeah, I do roofing leads. But then when they start digging deeper into it, you start realizing that, like, it's like someone says to you, you do SEO, but actually if you open the book of what SEO is, there's a million different things within SEO of what you can do. Like, well, what do you mean? Do you build websites? Do you do the silo structure? Do you do do you write the content? Do you do the links? So like, when you uncover something, when I just thought roofing was roofing, and then you start to uncover it and you're like, wow, there's so many different elements. And like a good example was one where we had a plumber, right? And he was paying us about, I think it was about £800 a month or something like that. It might have been £500 a month. And then one month he comes along and he gives us like a few grand. And he was like, oh, what's that for? And he said, oh, we just done a wet room. I'm like, I didn't even know you did wet rooms. He's like, yeah, of course we do wet rooms. He says, wet rooms are way better than shower rooms. So I was like, why? He says, because generally speaking, a shower room is what you have in a house. A wet room is what commercial like gyms and stuff have. And gyms and commercial properties are willing to pay more money. So I was like, you've never told me this before. And his response was, you've never asked. I'm like, I've asked for all the keywords. He went, yeah, I didn't think about wet rooms. I'm like, you just told me it's a really profitable product. But then when you go even like one step further, like when you start realizing not every wet room supplier can do disabled wet rooms because the DDA compliance, like the door needs to be a little bit wider and you need the pull cord. You need an electrician to come and put the pull cord in and stuff like that. So then when you can start going down the route of plumber to like wet rooms to being disabled wet rooms, you're going really micro niche, but there's good money there. And yes, Ahrefs and SEMrush or your generic kind of keyword tools can't find you that information. And that's where you do need to speak to the client and you do need to understand what it is that makes you the money. And from one company to the next, like a boiler company, you speak to one boiler company and they might be obsessed with just doing new boilers, new boiler, new boiler, new boiler, new boiler. But actually, this company over here might make more profit by just repairing and servicing existing boilers. And it's knowing how their business model is set up to see what works better. Is it replacing a new boilers or is it repairs and servicing? Now, obviously, both could make money, but one's normally set up to do one and one's normally set up to do the other. Because these are driven to be like, we charge a lot because we might do 24/7 call outs. So you've got to have staff that's on call at 2 o'clock in the morning that if a boiler's broken, someone wants to ring them, they're going to send engineers out. So yes, you're right in what you're saying, like the traditional keyword research can't be done for stuff like this. You've just got to be savvy and good at business and understanding what elements is it that they make the money on.
You've been listening to the Unscripted SEO Interview Podcast with me, Mark A. Preston. Join us next time as I interview more top SEO professionals.